Hey Cancer, I need to talk to you about something serious that came through in this reading. I just laid out the cards for you, and honestly, the energy here is pretty intense. I am not going to sugarcoat this because you deserve the truth. There is something coming to an end in your life, and the universe is giving you this heads up so you can prepare yourself emotionally and mentally. Before we dive deep into what the cards are revealing, I want you to take a moment and really ground yourself. Whatever comes through in this reading is meant to guide you, not scare you. Endings are never easy, especially for Cancer who holds on to people and memories like precious treasures. But sometimes the universe has to close certain doors so better ones can open for you. I pulled 10 cards for you today, and each one is going to reveal a different layer of what is happening in your energy right now. Some of these messages might sting a little, but I promise you, there is wisdom and growth waiting for you on the other side of this transition. So let me share what came through for you. The first card that appeared in your reading is the Knight of Cups. And this card is so interesting because it represents someone in your life who has been offering you emotional promises and romantic gestures. This could be a partner, a close friend, or even someone you have been emotionally invested in for a while now. The Knight of Cups usually brings messages of love and emotional connection, but in the context of this reading about an ending, I have to tell you what I am seeing here. This person has been presenting themselves as your emotional knight in shining armor. Someone who seems to understand your deep feelings and connects with your sensitive Cancer nature. But here is what the cards are really telling me. This Knight of Cups energy has been more about fantasy than reality. This person has been good at saying the right things, showing up with romantic gestures, making you feel like you found someone who truly gets your emotional depth. However, there is a gap between what they promise and what they actually deliver consistently. You know that feeling when someone tells you exactly what you want to hear, but their actions do not quite match up over time? That is what I am picking up here. For you, Cancer, you have probably been overlooking certain red flags, because when things are good with this person, they feel really good. You connect on such an emotional level that it feels like you have known each other for lifetimes. But the Knight of Cups can also represent someone who is emotionally immature or someone who loves the idea of love more than they love the actual work that relationships require. This person might be dealing with their own emotional baggage that prevents them from showing up for you in the way you truly deserve. The universe is highlighting this person or situation first because this is at the center of the ending that is approaching. You have been pouring so much of your emotional energy into this connection, hoping that if you just love hard enough or understand deep enough, things will work out. But Cancer, the cards are showing me that this particular chapter needs to close. Not because you did anything wrong, but because this connection has served its purpose in your journey, and it is time for both of you to move forward separately. I know this is hard to hear because you do not give your heart away easily. When you love with every fiber of your being. The thought of saying goodbye to someone you have invested so much emotional energy in feels like losing a part of yourself. But I need you to trust what the cards are revealing. This ending is making space for something more aligned with who you are becoming. Moving to the second card, we have the Four of Swords appearing in your reading, and this card is giving me such important information about your current state. The Four of Swords is all about rest, recovery, and taking a pause from the chaos of life. But in your situation, Cancer, this card is telling me that you have been absolutely exhausted, not just physically tired, but emotionally and mentally drained from trying to keep something alive that is naturally coming to its end. You have been in this state of constant worry and anxiety about this situation or relationship. Your mind has been working overtime, analyzing every conversation, replaying every moment, trying to figure out what you can do differently to change the outcome. You wake up thinking about it, you go to sleep thinking about it, and it is taking up so much mental and emotional space in your life. The Four of Swords is appearing to tell you that this exhaustion you are feeling is a sign that something needs to change. This card is also revealing that on some level, you already know what is coming. Deep down in that intuitive Cancer gut of yours, you have sensed that this ending is inevitable, but you have been fighting against that knowing because accepting it feels too painful. So instead, you have been putting yourself through this mental and emotional marathon, trying to find solutions, trying to fix what might be fundamentally broken, trying to hold on when the universe is asking you to let go. The Four of Swords is calling you to surrender to the need for rest and recovery. This does not mean giving up on yourself or your dreams. It means giving up the exhausting fight to control an outcome that is already written. You need to allow yourself to step back from this situation and really assess whether all this energy you are pouring out is bringing you peace or stealing your peace. I think you already know the answer to that question. What I love about the Four of Swords is that it promises restoration. Yes, you need to rest from this battle you have been fighting, but that rest is going to heal you in ways you cannot imagine right now. When you finally allow yourself to stop forcing something that is not meant to be, you are going to feel this weight lift off your shoulders. Your mind will become clearer, your heart will start to heal, and you will remember what peace feels like again. The universe is giving you permission to lay down your sword and rest, Cancer. You do not have to keep fighting for something that is already walking away. The third card in your reading is the Ten of Wands. And I have to say, this card is really validating everything you have been going through. The Ten of Wands shows someone carrying an enormous burden, struggling under the weight of too many responsibilities and obligations. This is you right now, Cancer. You have been carrying the weight of this relationship or situation almost entirely on your own shoulders. Let me paint you a picture of what I am seeing. You have been the one making all the effort to keep this connection alive. You are the one who reaches out first, who plans things, who tries to fix problems when they arise, who apologizes even when you are not sure what you are apologizing for. You are the one who adjusts your schedule, changes your plans, bends over backwards to accommodate this person or situation. You are the one who loses sleep worrying about where things are headed, while the other person seems perfectly content to just let things drift along. The Ten of Wands is screaming at me that you are exhausted from carrying this load. You have been telling yourself that if you just try a little harder, give a little more, be a little more understanding, then things will get better. But Cancer, the reality is that you have been doing the work of two people in this connection. You are carrying both your emotional responsibilities and theirs, and it is breaking your back. This card is connected to that inevitable goodbye that is approaching, because you cannot sustain this level of effort anymore. No one can. You are running on empty, trying to fuel a connection that should be mutual, but has become completely one-sided. The Ten of Wands is asking you a crucial question. Why are you carrying burdens that do not belong to you? Why are you working so hard for something that should feel natural and reciprocal? Here is what the universe wants you to understand. When the right person or situation comes into your life, it will not feel like carrying 10 heavy wands up a steep hill. Yes, all relationships require effort and work, but there is a difference between healthy effort and exhausting burden. Healthy effort energizes you even when it is challenging. It feels like you are building something together, like you are both carrying the weight as a team. What you have been experiencing is different. You have been carrying everything alone while pretending it is a partnership. The goodbye that is coming is actually going to free you from this burden. I know it does not feel like freedom right now. It feels like loss. But imagine putting down those 10 wands you have been struggling under. Imagine how much lighter you will feel, how much energy you will have for yourself and for things that actually deserve your incredible Cancer devotion. The Ten of Wands is promising you that relief is coming, but you have to be willing to put down what you have been carrying. Now we come to the fourth card, and this one is really powerful. Judgment appeared in your spread, and this is one of those major cards that signals huge transformation and awakening. The Judgment card is all about reaching a moment of clarity where you see everything for what it truly is, not what you hoped it would be or what you convinced yourself it was. This is your wake-up call, Cancer. Judgment is telling me that you are going through or about to go through a period of deep reflection and honest evaluation. You are being called to look at this situation or relationship with complete honesty, to strip away all the illusions and wishful thinking and see the truth. This is not easy for you because Cancer loves to view people and situations through a nostalgic, hopeful lens. You remember the beautiful moments and you hold on to the potential you see in people. But Judgment is saying that it is time to see things as they actually are in this present moment. The universe is giving you a chance to make a conscious choice before the ending happens. This is your opportunity to take back your power and decide to walk away with dignity rather than waiting until you are completely broken down. Judgment represents that moment when you finally hear the truth that your soul has been whispering to you all along. It is that moment when everything clicks into place and you understand why things have been so hard, why you have felt so unsettled, why nothing you tried seemed to work. This card is also telling me about self-judgment and self-reflection. You are being asked to look at your own patterns in this situation. Why did you stay so long despite the signs? What were you afraid would happen if you let go? What belief about yourself or love made you think you had to accept less than you deserve? These are not questions meant to make you feel bad about yourself, Cancer. They are questions meant to help you grow and evolve so you do not repeat these patterns in the future. Judgment is one of the most spiritually significant cards because it represents resurrection and rebirth. Yes, something is ending, but something new and better aligned with your truth is preparing to be born. The universe is calling you to rise up from this situation as a transformed version of yourself. You are shedding old beliefs about love, relationships, and your own worth. You are being reborn into a stronger, wiser, more discerning version of Cancer who knows their value and refuses to settle for crumbs when they deserve the whole feast. This ending that is approaching is not random or cruel. It is divinely orchestrated to push you into your next level of growth. Judgment is the universe blowing the trumpet and saying it is time, Cancer. Time to wake up, time to see clearly, time to make the choice that your future self will thank you for. This card is asking you to trust in the bigger picture even when the present moment feels painful. The fifth card that came through for you is Strength. And I am so glad this card appeared because it is telling me that you have everything you need inside you to handle what is coming. Strength is not about forcing things or powering through with aggression. It is about inner resilience, emotional courage, and the ability to face difficult truths with grace. You are so much stronger than you think you are, Cancer. This card shows a woman gently closing the mouth of a lion, and that image is so relevant to your situation right now. You are being called to tame the fearful, panicked parts of yourself that want to cling and hold on out of fear of being alone or fear of the unknown. The lion represents those raw, primal fears, and the woman represents your higher self, who can soothe those fears with wisdom and compassion. You have been through difficult endings before, and you survived them. You have felt heartbreak before, and you healed from it. You have faced uncertainty before, and you found your way through it. The Strength card is reminding you of your own resilience and your ability to not just survive, but to grow through challenges. This is not your first rodeo with pain, and it will not be your last. But each time you go through something difficult, you emerge with more wisdom and more understanding of yourself. What I am also seeing with the Strength card is that you need to be gentle with yourself during this transition. You do not have to have it all figured out right now. You do not have to be strong every single moment. You can fall apart, cry, feel angry, grieve what you are losing. That is all part of the process, and it does not make you weak. True strength includes allowing yourself to feel your feelings fully without judgment. But here is where the Strength card gets really interesting in your reading. It is also telling me that you are going to need to be strong in your boundaries when this ending happens. The person or situation that is leaving your life might try to come back. They might reach out when they sense you are finally moving on. They might suddenly want to try harder or promise to change. The Strength card is preparing you for that possibility and asking you to stay strong in your decision to let go. This is where Cancer sometimes struggles because your compassionate nature wants to give people chances and your loyalty makes you want to believe in people's potential to change. But the Strength card is saying that real strength in the situation means staying committed to your own well-being even when it is tempting to go back to what is familiar. It means having the courage to walk forward into the unknown rather than backwards into a situation that was draining your life force. You are going to discover depths of strength you did not know you had. This ending is going to test you, shape you, and ultimately make you into a more powerful version of yourself. The universe does not give you challenges you cannot handle, and the appearance of the Strength card is confirmation that you are absolutely capable of moving through this transition with grace and dignity. Coming to the Sixth card now, we have the World appearing in your reading, and this is actually beautiful timing for this card to show up. The World represents completion, fulfillment, and the ending of a significant cycle. This card is confirming what all the other cards have been building towards. A major chapter of your life is coming to a complete close, Cancer. The World is the last card of the major arcana, which means it represents the end of a long journey. You have been on a journey with this person or situation, learning lessons about yourself, about love, about what you will and will not tolerate. That journey is reaching its natural conclusion. Everything that needed to happen has happened. Every lesson that needed to be learned has been presented to you. The cycle is complete. What I find really interesting about the World appearing here is that it is not a card of failure or defeat. It is a card of accomplishment and wisdom gained. Yes, the relationship or situation is ending, but you are not ending it as the same person who began it. You have grown, evolved, and learned so much about yourself through this experience. The World is acknowledging that growth and celebrating the wisdom you have gained. This card is also telling me about closure. You are going to get the closure you need, even if it does not come in the way you expected. Sometimes closure comes from within rather than from the other person. It comes from reaching a place of peace and acceptance about what happened and why it needed to end. The World represents that sense of completion, where you can look back on the experience with wisdom rather than bitterness, with gratitude for the lessons rather than resentment for the pain. But here's the really exciting part about the World appearing in a reading about endings. This card is also about new beginnings. When one world ends, another begins. When you complete one cycle, you immediately enter a new one at a higher level of consciousness. The ending you are facing is not just taking something away from you, it is clearing space for something better to enter your life. The World card is showing me that you are about to step into a completely new phase of your life. The universe has big plans for you, Cancer, but you cannot step into that new world while you are still clinging to the old one. This is why this ending needs to happen. You are being promoted to a new level of your life journey, but you have to graduate from where you are currently standing. You have to let go of what is familiar and comfortable so you can embrace what is meant for you. I am seeing travel or movement with the World card as well. This might be literal travel or it might be metaphorical movement forward in your life. Either way, you are not going to stay stuck in this painful place forever. The World promises that you will move beyond this ending into new experiences, new connections, new opportunities that are more aligned with who you are becoming. The seventh card in your spread is the Page of Swords, and this card is bringing in the energy of truth, clarity, and honest communication. The Page of Swords is a messenger, and in your reading, this card is telling me that the truth about this situation is going to be revealed in a very clear way. You might receive information or communication that confirms what you have been sensing all along. Pages are also young energy, sometimes representing immaturity or inexperience. In the context of your reading, the Page of Swords could be highlighting that someone in this situation has been emotionally immature in their communication. Maybe they have avoided difficult conversations. Maybe they have been unclear about their intentions. Maybe they have said one thing but meant another. The Page of Swords is cutting through all that ambiguity with sharp clarity. This card is also about your voice and your truth. You are being called to speak up about what you need, what you feel, and what you are no longer willing to accept. Cancer, you have been so focused on keeping the peace and avoiding conflict that you have silenced your own voice at times. The Page of Swords is giving you permission to say what needs to be said, to ask the questions you have been afraid to ask, to express the feelings you have been holding back. I am getting the sense that there is going to be a conversation or exchange of messages that brings things to a head. This might be the catalyst for the goodbye that is approaching. It could be that you finally express your truth and the other person's response shows you clearly that they are not on the same page. Or it could be that they tell you something that makes the situation undeniably clear. Either way, the Page of Swords represents that moment of truth where the fog lifts and you see everything clearly. What I want you to remember with the Page of Swords is that truth might sting, but it ultimately sets you free. Being in uncertainty and confusion is worse than knowing the painful truth, because at least with truth, you can make informed decisions about your life. The Page of Swords is actually doing you a favor by cutting through the illusions and showing you reality. This clarity is a gift even though it might not feel like one initially. This card is also encouraging you to use your mind and your logic, not just your emotions, when evaluating the situation. As a Cancer, you lead with your heart, and that is beautiful, but sometimes your heart can keep you attached to situations that your mind knows are not good for you. The Page of Swords is asking you to engage your intellect, to look at the facts and patterns rather than just the feelings and memories. When you combine your emotional intelligence with mental clarity, you make better decisions for yourself. Now we are at the 8th card, and this one is intense. The 7 of Cups appeared in your reading, and I need to talk to you about illusions, fantasies, and confusion. The 7 of Cups shows someone looking at multiple cups filled with different images, representing choices and possibilities. But here is the catch with this card. Most of those cups contain illusions rather than reality. This card is telling me that you have been living in a fantasy about this situation or relationship. Let me be direct with you, Cancer. You have been seeing what you wanted to see rather than what was actually there. You created a beautiful story in your mind about how things could be, about the potential of this connection, about who this person could become if they just tried harder or healed their wounds. The 7 of Cups is revealing that you have been in love with a fantasy version of the situation rather than accepting the reality of what it actually is. This is not your fault, and I'm not blaming you. Cancer naturally sees the best in people and situations. You are a dreamer and a romantic at heart. You believe in second chances and in people's ability to grow and change. These are beautiful qualities, but they can also make you vulnerable to staying in situations longer than you should, because you are waiting for the fantasy to become reality. The 7 of Cups is appearing to wake you up from this dream state. It is time to open your eyes and see which of those cups is real and which are just illusions. The painful truth is that the cup representing the relationship or situation as you wished it would be is not the real one. The real cup contains the truth of inconsistency, of unmet needs, of one-sided effort, of promises that never materialized into lasting change. I am also seeing with the 7 of Cups that you might be confused about what to do or how to move forward. Part of you wants to hold on because of the potential you see. Part of you wants to let go because you are exhausted. Part of you hopes things will magically get better. Part of you knows deep down that they will not. This internal confusion has been keeping you stuck, unable to make a clear decision about your path forward. The 7 of Cups is calling you to get grounded in reality. Strip away the fantasy, the wishful thinking, the maybe one day hopes. Look at what is rather than what could be. Look at patterns rather than potential. Look at actions rather than words. When you do this, The Seven of Cups suggests that the right choice becomes obvious, even if it is painful. The illusions need to fall away so you can see clearly and make decisions based on truth rather than hope. This card is also warning you about keeping yourself in a state of perpetual maybe. Maybe things will change, maybe they will try harder, maybe you should give it more time, maybe you are being too demanding. The Seven of Cups is saying that all those maybes are keeping you trapped in confusion and preventing you from moving forward into clarity. The goodbye that is approaching is actually going to free you from this fog of uncertainty and plant your feet firmly on solid ground again. We are at the 9th card now, and this is Wheel of Fortune, another major arcana card appearing in your reading. The Wheel of Fortune is all about cycles, destiny, and the turning points of life. This card is confirming that what is happening in your life right now is part of a bigger cosmic plan. The wheel is turning and you are moving from one phase of your life into another, whether you feel ready or not. The Wheel of Fortune reminds us that life moves in cycles. There are times when we are at the top of the wheel feeling great, and times when we are at the bottom feeling like everything is falling apart. Right now, you might feel like you are at the bottom part of the wheel's rotation. The relationship or situation you valued is ending, and it feels like the universe is being cruel. But the Wheel of Fortune is telling you that this low point is temporary and necessary for the wheel to lift you back up to better circumstances. What I love about the Wheel of Fortune is that it speaks to destiny and divine timing. The ending that is approaching is not random bad luck. It is a fated event that needed to happen for your soul's growth and evolution. Sometimes the universe has to forcibly turn the wheel when we are too afraid to turn it ourselves. You might have stayed in this situation for years if the universe had not intervened to create circumstances that force the ending. This card is also about surrendering to the flow of life rather than trying to control everything. Cancer, you have been trying so hard to control the outcome of this situation, to manage other people's feelings and choices, to force things to work out the way you wanted. The Wheel of Fortune is asking you to release that need for control and trust that the universe knows what it is doing. The wheel is turning in your favor, even though it does not feel like it right now. I am also seeing, with the Wheel of Fortune, that karma is at play here. If you have been giving your all to someone who was not reciprocating, the universe sees that and is going to balance the scales. If someone has been taking you for granted or not honoring your worth, the wheel is turning to remove them from your life so you can be available for someone who will treasure you properly. The Wheel of Fortune always brings justice and balance eventually. This card is encouraging you to have faith in the bigger picture. Trust that this ending is making space for something better. Trust that you are being guided even when you cannot see where the path is leading. Trust that the wheel never stops turning, which means this painful phase will pass and you will rise again into joy, love, and fulfillment. The Wheel of Fortune is promising you that better days are coming, Cancer. You just have to trust the process and allow the wheel to turn. We have arrived at the 10th and final card of your reading, and I saved this one for last because it is such a powerful message. The Hanged Man appeared, and this card is asking you to completely shift your perspective on this entire situation. The Hanged Man is suspended upside down, seeing the world from a totally different angle than everyone else. This is what you need to do right now. The Hanged Man is telling me that you have been viewing this ending as a terrible loss, as something being taken away from you, as a failure or rejection. But what if you turned that perspective completely upside down? What if this ending is actually a liberation, a blessing in disguise, a divine intervention to save you from wasting more years on something that was never meant to last forever? This card represents surrender and letting go. The Hanged Man is not struggling against the ropes that bind him. He is hanging peacefully, almost voluntarily. There is wisdom in that surrender. You have been fighting so hard against this inevitable ending, exhausting yourself trying to change what cannot be changed. The Hanged Man is inviting you to stop struggling and just surrender to what is. Let go, release, accept. I know surrender feels scary to you because Cancer wants to hold on to everything and everyone precious. But the Hanged Man is showing me that there is profound peace waiting for you on the other side of surrender. When you finally stop fighting the current and just allow the river to carry you, you will feel this incredible sense of relief. The struggle has been so much harder than the surrender will be. The Hanged Man is also about sacrifice. Sometimes we have to sacrifice what we want right now for what we need in the long term. You have to sacrifice the comfort of this familiar situation, even though it is not truly serving you, so you can be available for something that truly aligns with your highest good. You have to sacrifice the fantasy you have been holding on to so you can embrace a reality that is actually fulfilling and reciprocal. This card is also deeply spiritual, suggesting that this ending is pushing you into a period of deep inner reflection and spiritual growth. The Hanged Man often appears when we are being asked to pause, to go inward, to reassess our values and priorities. This is not a time for immediate action or jumping into something new. This is a time to hang suspended in that space between what was and what will be, using that space for deep healing and self-discovery. The Hanged Man is promising you that this period of suspension and uncertainty will not last forever. You are in a transition phase, a sacred pause where transformation happens. When you emerge from this Hanged Man energy, you will see everything differently. You will understand why this ending needed to happen. You will be grateful for the lessons learned and the growth achieved. You will be ready for the next chapter of your life with wisdom and clarity you did not have before. So Cancer, I want to bring this all together for you. The cards have painted a very clear picture of what is happening in your energy right now. An ending is approaching and it is inevitable. This is not about punishment or bad luck. This is about the universe loving you enough to remove what is no longer serving your highest good, even though it hurts right now. You have been carrying too much weight, fighting too hard for something that should feel more natural and reciprocal. You have been living in fantasy and confusion rather than grounded reality. You have been giving your precious Cancer energy to someone or something that has not been honoring that gift properly. The universe is saying enough is enough. The goodbye that is coming is going to be difficult because you are someone who loves deeply and holds on tightly. But I need you to understand that this ending is not about your worth or your value. You are not being rejected. You are being redirected towards something better. The universe is making space in your life for a connection or situation that actually matches your energy, your effort, your devotion. I pulled these 10 cards for you, and each one contained an important message. The Knight of Cups revealed the emotional fantasy you have been living in. The Four of Swords showed your exhaustion and need for rest. The Ten of Wands highlighted the burden you have been carrying alone. Judgment called for your awakening and honest evaluation. Strength reminded you of your inner resilience. The World confirmed the completion of this cycle. The Page of Swords brought clarity and truth. The Seven of Cups exposed the illusions you have been holding on to. The Wheel of Fortune spoke of destiny and divine timing. And the Hangman asked you to surrender and shift your perspective. All of these cards together are telling the same story. It is time to let go, Cancer. It is time to stop fighting against what the universe is clearly orchestrating. It is time to trust that this ending is actually a beginning in disguise. It is time to honor yourself enough to walk away from what is draining you and walk toward what will nourish you. I know you are scared of being alone or starting over. I know the unknown feels terrifying compared to the familiar, even when the familiar is painful. But your cards are showing me that you are so much stronger than you think you are, and that beautiful things are waiting for you on the other side of this transition. Take care of yourself during this time. Be gentle with your heart. Allow yourself to grieve what you are losing while also holding space for excitement about what is coming. Reach out to your support system. Do things that bring you comfort and peace. Trust the process even when it hurts. And most importantly, remember that you are worthy of a love and situation that does not require you to carry all the weight alone. The universe is supporting you through this ending and guiding you toward your next beautiful beginning. Trust that, Cancer. Your breakthrough is on the other side of this breakdown.